Listen, man, my faith talk is the word of God. The just shall live by faith.
Hello everybody, I am Von-Kensington here with Ignite Voices. I'm here with Robert and Jennifer. So, you guys, last night I got to see the screening for the No Address movie. And can you guys tell me a little bit about these films and the documentary as well?
Yes, definitely. So we call it the Big Five, actually. Robert
Okay.
Craig Films' mission is really to create movies that inspire more compassion and empathy for people in the communities in which they live. And we are very passionate about this topic. The movie itself, No Address, is about a group of individuals that fall into homelessness unexpectedly and how they navigate their way through life, basically, on the streets.
Yeah, and so it's a wonderful movie. Like I said, I seen the screening, and before I went into the interview, we were driving, and I noticed some homeless people underneath a bridge, and I had this feeling in my heart, like I want to do something, but I kind of had more of a feeling like, why isn't somebody else doing something about it? But the important thing is that, like, you know, we should be doing something about it. So can you maybe explain what the crisis is right now?
Well, that's exactly right. The somebody is us. You know, we always hope somebody else will fix it, but the
Right.
somebody is really us. I mean, you're spot on that. So real quickly, where we are in our nation, we have 1.5 million children who experience homeless, 1.2 million of adults experiencing homeless on the street. And of the adults on the street, 650,000 are literally like in a bridge,
Wow.
alleyway, behind a big box store, by a park, and outside the library, probably the people you were seeing last night. And that group is doubling now every 5 years in our country. And we have many cities across America where the inner city is just gone. Portland's gone, Seattle's gone, San Francisco's gone, parts of LA are gone.
Yeah, I've seen recently that Oregon's declared a state of emergency because of that. And I used to live in Oregon, and it got pretty bad there. But so why did you guys decide to make this movie, though? Specifically, I know that right now we have a lot of other crises going on in the world, but why is this such an important topic for people to put, effort into and compassion and stuff like that?
Well, I think to the point of those numbers that we just heard, it's an American crisis. But what we really want to do is showcase the human side of the situation. These are real people with real stories, and many times they're not the stories that we think they are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so you guys, I said that it's a 5-part series. So can you really quickly kind of explain each one of the 5 movies or documentaries?
Yeah, so the movie is called No Address. The documentary is Americans with No Address. And then we have a book coming out based on the screenplay, also a soundtrack with wonderful artists that are participating in that,
Oh, yeah.
as well as a study guide. And the study guide is actually authored by Dr. Marbit here with us, so he can talk a little bit about that.
And basically, what should the faith community's response to homelessness be? Very practical, very precise, real specific items you can do, or a community can do, whether it's an individual, a small group, or a whole congregation.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to the topic as well of how homelessness happens. So I seen on the screening last night that drugs and not just drugs, but eviction and stuff like that. What is the thing that is causing homelessness in our society right now?
3/4 of the street-level homeless is untreated mental illness with self-medicating substance abuse with that. And so they work you can't say it's one or the other. They're totally interconnected. So 3/4 of the people on the street in that street-level homeless is experiencing untreated mental illness with self-medications on top of it. That becomes the level of substance use disorder. Why do we have the problem? In 2013, the federal government said we're going to stop treating that. Before 2013, the federal government funded treatment, encouraged agencies to do it and such. But in 2013, the federal government said we're going to stop funding, and they made it illegal for faith groups and nonprofits to have treatment requirements, which was just nuts. I mean,
absolutely. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
But in their theory, in fairness, was let's take the money out of the services so we can do more housing vouchers. But that was penny wise, pound foolish. And then with the advent of meth and then now fentanyl, not having treatment on the street is literally one of the craziest federal policies we have. So we got to fix that if we're going to make a dent in this.
Right. And I also seen that, instead of helping these, citizens that are homeless, I noticed that the police are actually handing out like clean needles and stuff like that. Can you maybe speak a little bit about that?
And those are called safe consumption sites. So San Francisco sort of was the ground zero of starting that movement, and now it's gone everywhere. Not everywhere, but places like Philadelphia now have it. Up and down the West Coast has had it. Some of Hawaii's had it, and it's basically the idea we're going to fund and give you needles and foil and straws and pipes and lighters and everything. And in my view, and I hate to oversimplify it, but I really believe it, our country now has created a situation where it is very easy to get high and hard to get treatment.
Absolutely.
And we got to flip it. We need to make it easy to get treatment and hard to get high. And we got it all backwards now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we interviewed somebody from the border agency, and he said that was a big crisis, coming across the border, fentanyl and drugs and stuff like that. And we've seen that it's affecting the United States, not only just across the border, but it's just across nationwide. It's a drug crisis. But not only that is people don't really realize the side effects of this. People go into it, not expecting it to completely change their life, but people aren't there really to help them right now. It's kind of something that we don't talk about enough, and so it leads to homelessness, and people don't realize the implications of people without homes. It's like stripping their lives away from them.
And fentanyl, I mean, we thought meth was bad and such. Fentanyl now, think about this, 2 grains of fentanyl, 2 grains of salt, literally equivalent of fentanyl, will kill most everybody.
Whoa.
3 grains will kill everybody. That's how little we're talking about. The other problem with fentanyl is it's almost immediately addicting. So once you take it once, twice, or maybe 3 times at the most, you're addicted to it.
Oh, wow.
So it can kill you easier, it gets you addicted faster, and it's 50 to 100 times more powerful than the organic opioids of morphine. Think about the syntheticness has made this 5 to 10,000% stronger than an organic, based opioids.
Yeah, and that's really important for people to realize that it's so powerful and potent, right? But going back on topic here is that, drugs are really rampant in our society, but at the same time, the people that are hating our country, they want us to not have compassion for the people that now are homeless. So maybe can you guys speak on how we can help these people that are homeless?
Well, and I think part of this is really creating an understanding, right? When we have an understanding about something, we're more motivated to do something, which brings about change. And that's what we're hoping with these 5 products. There's different ways that it can speak to different audiences. A theatrical movie to build this compassionate understanding that this could happen to anyone, whereas the documentary is this conversation, right, of what is really happening out there and what are the effects of everything that are going on. So, it's really our hope is to create this understanding and this compassion so that we are more empathetic. We go to our nonprofits, we don't enable, we engage.
Yeah, that's really important. So you guys heard it there, is that, it's compassion and it's love for these people because they are human beings just like us, and we would want somebody out there to help us as well. And so you guys said that just before we went on this interview, you guys told me that you specifically traveled to different countries. And maybe can you speak a little bit about that? What did you see in these other countries? Because homelessness isn't just a American crisis.
And I've traveled around the world, and homelessness all over the world is growing. I mean, that's happening true. I did an interview a couple of days ago with New Zealand, and I was like, sort of, why am I doing an interview with New Zealand? And they said, this is becoming a big problem for us. But what's uniquely different in the United States is we've stopped treating it. Everybody's dealing with fentanyl. Everybody's dealing with meth. That's sort of the common thing throughout the world. But what's made it different is we've said we're not going to treat it. We're going to actually let you take it, and we will create places where you can take it. And that's why it's uniquely worse here, if you will.
Yeah, and so absolutely, like you were saying though, there is that it's not just an American crisis, as I was saying, but it's a world crisis. But specifically because America, specifically the politicians, have decided to hate America, they are leading the people to change. They're trying to change the culture against our own kind. And so when we see people out here, our first thought is to be polarized because we want to be, it's human nature to be evil, right? But the people on the streets right now, I go out there, I see compassion, but I see a lot of people, they kind of scoff at them or roll up their windows and lock their windows. I'm not saying not to be safe, but we do need to have compassion for these people. And so maybe can you tell them, how can we support these people?
Well, if we don't get a handle on this crisis, it is doubling every 5 years now. So look outside the window and say, in 10 years, do you want 4 times more what's going on? And so we compassionately need to come together. And this should not be a right wing, a left wing, Republican or Democrat. This should be a common sense issue because it's affecting everybody. Mental health doesn't pick partisans. Mental health doesn't pick conservative, left, young, or old. And so we need to come together like really, really fast.
Yes.
And the faith community and the nonprofit community needs to engage and not enable. And we need the government to get back into the treatment business. If you can only do 2 things, that's what I'd say, because the faith community has a tendency to sort of enable and with a good heart, well-intended, but it's not engagement. So that's what we spend a lot of time in the study guide talking about. And if the government can make the change and get back into where they're in the treatment game, those 2 things along would start to move the needle. And then once you get those going, then there's some other 2nd, 3rd, and 4th step levels you can do. But right now, if we don't change what we're fundamentally doing now, we think we have it bad. It's going to get way, way worse.
I would say go to your local nonprofit, right? And there's so many great ones right here. You know, Nashville Rescue Mission. Go to them. They have the ability to provide the wraparound services that these individuals need. And so give to them, go volunteer, be a part, of a community that's really serving.
You were just saying there, right? It's such an important topic that people don't realize. And the viewers want to go out and they want to give help, but they don't know how they can help. So you guys made a movie, you guys made a foundation. How can they support you guys?
So noaddressmovie.com.
Okay.
That's where you can find all of these information on all of these productions and the release times of them as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer and Robert. I really enjoyed this interview, and I'm Von-Kensington here with Ignite Voices. Remember, go out and blaze change and start at home.